Hello, everybody. Welcome to WinCat Sports. We are doing a playoff preview. All the playoff games. We're not just going to talk about the Lions. We'll do a pregame on the Lions, but we'll start with all the games. Get our thoughts on all of them. We're going to start with the AFC, a side that we don't really watch as much. Uh, Baltimore gets the first round bye. We already knew that was going to happen. Baltimore's going to be a really, really tough team to stop. Not just in the AFC, but they likely will make it to the Super Bowl. First matchup, depending on how it's going to happen. Um, because we were doing this before the Miami Buffalo game. If Miami wins, Miami is going to be facing Pittsburgh. I don't think Miami is going to have a problem with Pittsburgh. If Buffalo wins, it'll be Pittsburgh. Either team I would have favored in that matchup.
No, I mean Pittsburgh again makes the playoffs. They've been a good team, or at least an average team, probably for quite a while. They win just enough to be relevant in the playoff picture, but they haven't really moved much beyond the first round. I don't think they have much of a chance in the first round. They don't have a quarterback, and they have a really good defense. If Watt is healthy. But either team should beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too much of a matchup. And they might be able to give them a little bit of a game, but either Buffalo or Miami should be able to handle Pittsburgh. The next game that would be on slate in the AFC would be Kansas City. And depending on how seeding goes, I believe it's either going to end up being Buffalo. Again, this could be Buffalo or Miami sitting in that spot. And again, I would favor Buffalo and Miami against KC with how they've been playing.
Kansas City has Mahomes at home again. They get even though they have not played like Kansas City teams in the past this year that much, they are very questionable in a lot of positions, but they still have Mahomes. And they still, I think Buffalo or Miami should beat them, but I think it's going to be a really good game, as it always is in Arrowhead.
Yes. And even if I'm wrong about those two matchups, even if it ends up being Cleveland, I think Cleveland can beat Kansas City.
Oh yeah, I think Cleveland's defense alone that's their big strength, and as long as Joe Flacco keeps playing the way he's been playing,
but even if I'm wrong, I think whoever the
Cleveland
Kansas City
could go all the way.
Any Kansas City defense. Chiefs team, whoever they play between the three, whoever it ends up being, I think they win. I don't think Kansas City's getting out of the first round. Does that keep Patrick Mahomes from playing a road playoff game in his career? Yes, but I don't think he's going to make it out of the first round this year. I think they're a first round knockout.
Right.
Next round of games in the AFC will be the 4 versus 5, which is the surprising Houston Texans facing off against, at the moment, it would be Cleveland or again, Miami. I don't know how the things will rotate in that situation. I believe it will be Cleveland, and Buffalo or Miami ends up being the 7th.
We'll have to do an actual AFC thing when we know. But we know Cleveland. I think Cleveland would beat Houston.
Yeah.
I would give the nod to Cleveland there.
Even Buffalo and Miami probably would beat Houston.
Yeah, I mean, but Houston is one of those teams, man, they got nothing to lose. No one expected anything from them. And, CJ Stroud has had such a great year. For a rookie to do what he's done, and that franchise, you really got to take your hat off to him. So it wouldn't surprise me if they won.
No, it would not surprise
their playoff game.
Honestly, I think of all those matchups, I think Cleveland makes it out. You're going to have probably going to have Buffalo and Miami make it out of there. So basically, Baltimore face whoever loses tonight, and then it will be Cleveland versus whoever wins the AFC East. And I think Cleveland it might be a Baltimore-Cleveland
second round.
Well, Baltimore-Cleveland championship game.
Could be.
I could honestly see that happening. But we'll move on to the NFC, where the picture is set in stone now. San Francisco gets the first round bye. Depending on how you feel about the call and how things might have gone, you might think that should have been Detroit, but San Francisco gets the bye. But the stories that the NFL probably would have liked to see ended up happening in the NFC. Oh, you got Dallas facing off against Green Bay, and Green Bay has been the enemy of Dallas in the playoffs.
Right. Well, they go back to the '60s. I mean, they have a long history of playoff matchups, and it's going to be tougher, I think, than Dallas thinks. A lot of people are just writing Green Bay off right away. Um, I'm not so sure. I think Jordan Love is playing very well, and Green Bay's defense is playing really well. If Aaron Jones is healthy, or at least close to, um, I don't know. I think it could be a surprising game there. I'm not predicting Green Bay to win, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. Overall, wherever that happens, but I would not be surprised if Green Bay beats Dallas just because of how history has gone. However, if it's a story of revenge, Dallas will beat Green Bay, right? And then we move on to our next matchup, which is going to be Matthew Stafford coming home to Detroit and facing the Lions with Jared Goff facing the team that left them out to dry in the trade to come here.
Right. From one aspect, it's what everybody wanted. I mean, we want the story, we want the hype, we want this attention. But on the other hand, it's probably the worst draw we could have drawn out of the three teams, wild card teams. They're playing very well.
Yes, they are.
Matt Stafford is going to drool over our defensive backs. If we do not get to him, if we do not disrupt him and get in his face a lot, he will have a field day against our defensive backfield. Cooper Kupp, Nakua, they're all really good. Higgins,
do not be surprised if you end up losing to the Rams.
It's going to be a very tough game if we do not get to Matt Stafford.
But this game
we need our offense to be at its best. We need to score probably about 35 points to win this game. I'm thinking at least.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. The crowd is going to be crazy.
If it is a shootout and we end up losing this game like 42-38 or something, I will not be as mad.
Jared Goff.
I just want our offense to show up, and it would be terrible to get throttled by Matt Stafford. It's going to be bad enough if we get beat by him. I hope not. That's not the case. I'm not trying to be negative, but this is probably the worst draw I think we could have had.
Jared Goff has everything to play for. He has everything to play for to prove himself.
He does.
That he should not have been traded. That he is good enough to lead a team.
And that way, I think he's glad he's traded. I mean, he's been treated great here for the most part.
Yes, he has.
Fans love him. He's found a home. We certainly are a much better fan base than LA. We come out, we travel. He has said that a million times. The Lions faithful have been great this year. I mean, it's just been amazing to see us go to different stadiums, and I think it really took Goff to heart. I think he really likes this community, and he likes playing for us.
He has a game to prove himself against the team that traded him away because he was just a cash thrown. We need the money. We need the money gone. You can take them. Give us your quarterback. And we were like, okay. And we have built something with him. And like I said, It's his moment to prove himself to his old team and say, hey,
he played very well.
I was the guy.
I thought he played very well today. He made some really great throws. I'm hoping, like I said, that we see the Jared Goff I want to see next week.
And we'll get more into like game details in pregame. But like I said, he's probably going to be playing amazingly or best he can in this game. The last game is going to be Tampa and Philly. And honestly, with how Philly's playing, they got run over by the Giants today. A.J. Brown got hurt. Jalen Hurts got hurt. Tampa's probably going to beat
I don't
the
like to
Eagles.
say it, but everyone in Detroit is kind of thinking that maybe Matt Patricia is having a very bad effect on that defense. Makes no sense to me. I think Philly is the most talented team in the NFC, but something is wrong. Something is not right. And I think they're going to lose this game. I think they're going to lose to the Bucs.
I think so too. And with that being the case, if all what we says happens, let's say the revenge tour happens for each team. Dallas gets their revenge on Green Bay for the past 2 decades of playoff football against them and all those bad calls happening. Jared Goff gets his revenge against LA for trading him away. Tampa, not really a revenge, but Tampa proves themselves not to be a bad team.
Baker Mayfield's revenge on everybody because no one thought he was any good.
Baker Mayfield shows he's a decent QB. And then he's going to play off against San Francisco, probably in that case. But in this case, right, here's your next revenge. Detroit goes to Dallas and does what? Beats them after years and years.
The thing about this game is it would be the worst defeat. We would feel awful. It would take a while to get over a defeat by the Rams. But if we win, it'd be the greatest. I think if we beat Matt Stafford, it would be as good as almost as good as going to the Super Bowl.
I'm just saying, if you get, like I said, we'll get more into that stuff in this pregame.
Would be like, oh,
I'm just saying, in a pregame,
tell you how good it would feel.
We'll get more into that in another video.
You all know it because you're.
But like I said, if you get your revenge, let's say you get your revenge, and again, if it's a revenge tour, you get your revenge on Dallas. In Dallas,
I would love it.
You finally win a game in Dallas, and they stop screwing you over.
Road. You got to go through Matt Stafford in Dallas to get to
San Francisco and or Tampa. If somehow Tampa beats San Francisco,
right? Because if San Francisco loses, well, their first game be against probably, if it went the way we said,
Tampa.
We think it would be against Tampa Bay. They're not going to lose Tampa Bay.
Probably not. But if they do, you host the NFC Championship game. You beat Tampa. Go to Super Bowl. That is likely Lions.
But if the Pack beats, right? I mean, if the Pack beats Dallas, then we get another home field game. If we beat the Rams,
you will get a home game against Tampa.
Go Pack!
In that situation, and then, but again, in that situation, does San Francisco get their revenge, or does Green Bay get their revenge on San Francisco too, and go beat San Francisco, and then you play them in the NFC Championship game?
Wouldn't that be an awesome game? That would be awesome.
And you finally beat the Packers to go to the Super Bowl. Whatever ends up happening, if the Lions ever actually do that, I don't think it will happen that way.
Oh, who knows?
But that would be an interesting story.
This is going to be really nuts, I think.
NFC side, at least.
My stomach's in knots, and
we're aiming for a Browns-Lions Super Bowl, just because.
That's our wish.
It'd be a great thing to happen. With all that being said, though, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, right? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And until next time, hope to see everybody soon.